kick it off with the broader market. Stocks rallying for a second straight day. Dow on pace to snap a 3-week losing streak. Salesforce topping the Dow, jumping 7% after upping its guidance. What also stands out, Steph, is that pretty sharp Treasury sell-off. 10-year yield just went past 141, and tech stocks are holding up. The entire market is holding up. What do you think is driving the action today and the big rebound?
Yeah, it's the year of the rotation. We're back into cyclicals. We're back into reopens. And I think we're all just trying to digest the Fed. And even though it was pretty much in line with expectations, I thought he was a little bit more hawkish yesterday. So we'll get the December implementation most likely. June by 2022, it's completed. I've been saying for a while, Sarah, you know this, that I don't think we needed this emergency policy in place and we should embrace the taper because we're seeing better growth. And even the Fed yesterday, they were talking about 3.8% growth next year. So not only are we having above trend growth this year of 6, 7, 8%, and I think it would be higher if we didn't have these supply chain issues, but now next year is closer to 4%, which is what I've been saying for a while. And that's as a result of that, plus we have more inflation, the Fed can start to taper. We should embrace it, as I mentioned. On inflation, they're using 2.3% next year. I think they're going to be wrong. I think they're going to be way off. I mean, we've talked about CPIs and PPIs, but final demand up 6.7%. Wages are going through the roof. Rents are increasing. Just ask FedEx what their struggles, right? They had a lot of problems with wages and labor shortages. And General Mills, this is in your camp. I mean, they're talking about inflation of 7, 8% for fiscal 2022. So there's real inflation. Adding it all up, you've got better growth, more inflation, higher rates, and you've got this cyclical rotation and the reopen. And I think it's the Expedia comments from the CEO earlier today. He said that they're seeing twice the levels of searches in the UK in the past week now that the travel restrictions are going to be lifted. I don't know if Wilf is part of that search, but all I can say is that's good news for Expedia, but it's also good news for Reopen.
Well, we also saw Virgin Atlantic say that UK-US flights saw a 600% increase in booking. It's quite a specific route that's been held back, but definitely going to...
Frost family is back in the air.
Frost family will be coming when permitted. I hope. I mean, I hope they want to come and see me. Anyway, Delano, I wanted to pivot to you because I totally get Steph's point that clearly growth is not bad over the next 18 months. But was there something slightly missed yesterday in the Fed conference that growth rates for the rest of this year at least have come down a bit, and we are, of course, near record highs on the market?
Yeah, I would say something, maybe possibly missed there, Wilf. As you mentioned, yes, growth rates have come down a bit. And there's so many factors that could be at play here. We're talking about supply chain bottlenecks. We're talking about the variant, resurgence that we saw earlier in the summer. And I think a lot of investors how much of that is priced in the market now, if we're talking about the Fed commentary and the timing and schedule of tapering versus, growth rates and their expectations for growth rates going forward, and if you're pushing out to 2022. So I think that's something that investors have to take into account. Yeah, I agree with Stephanie saying that, the tapering should be coming at some point soon. And although we're not there right now, it's some point soon. And I think the investors and the market has already kind of priced a lot of that in, just based on the fact that there's been a lot of great communication from the Fed in regards to, the scheduling, the timing of when that could come, and just the amount, right? We haven't heard about the amount. Is it going to be a drop in the bucket compared to the asset purchases that are being done now by the Fed? So this is something that's all taken into account. I think, we saw a whipsaw back and a bounce back, which is pretty much for the market kind of voting in which direction they're kind of going forward right now, Wilf.